Tonight, Jake DeMarco sodomizes the entire audience. It's WWE NXT. This is World Wrestling Entertainment's #1 show. Joe Cronin, Jake DeMarco, NXT, AEW, The Great American Bash, Keith Lee, Adam Cole, baby. Tons of wrestling news. The cellulite under Keith Lee's armpits. Adam Cole's mousy nose. The double champ is here to stay. Tonight, it's Outta Nowhere, episode 201. Tonight, Dicks Out. That intro was, but weird.
Fuck PG in its mouth. Fuck Russell, tear it out. Do the same with SmackDown, same result. Week to week, scream and shout. We are told to shut our mouths. No more lies, thorn in your eye, we're all together. This is war, out of nowhere. This is war, out of nowhere. This is war, out of nowhere. This is war, out of nowhere.
Yo! This is Outta Nowhere, episode 201. And we talked a lot about NXT the other night. We talked a lot about AEW, rather. We talked a little bit about NXT, but not much. So tonight we're going to talk a little more about NXT. Now that I would think that everybody has seen it. And a little bit of the wrestling news that's going on around the world. And like he said last week, tonight, Jake is going to show his privates to the entire audience.
Oh yeah, all 2 inches. Gotta whip out that tuna can. You want to talk about being shadow banned? That's what gets you going. Oh God, we broke Joe again. Damn it. Quick, somebody reset him. Flip the switch. Can't handle all that thought of cock. Hurry up. Somebody help him. Quick. Cue the donations. Bring him back to life.
I don't know what's going on right now. Okay, what's up, everybody?
Flavor.
What the fuck is going on? I don't know. That was weird, bro. I don't know. What's up, everybody?
Taste some flavor.
You want to taste some flavor? Flavor Flav? You want a piece of Flavor Flav?
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, baby. Flavor Flav, baby. I love Flavor Flav. I love Flavor Flav. You ever imagine what people would be like if you took them from wherever they're from currently, as popular as they are, or not? Maybe Flavor Flav isn't as popular now, but he was back in the early 90s, late 80s, or whatever it was. So it'd be fun to insert people into different time periods. You know what I mean? I want to put
see how they would work out and interact.
Yeah. I want to bring the Beatles to the year 2078 and just drop them off at like a strip club or like
Oh, God,
or
that'd
like
be
some
great.
weird area. Yeah, and like they have the what's going on here? What are we doing? Like, and they just look like idiots. You know, they look like they're ready to dance for men. Basically,
Even now, you get them on stage. I want to hold your hand. Yeah, you're getting Me Too'd pretty quick.
yeah, like what's going on here, man? This is weird.
Forceful hand holding. We're not going to tolerate that.
I
I'm
hold the
triggered.
door for you, miss. The fuck? What are you trying to bang me? What's going on here? Or you bring Flavor Flav back, like I don't know, because like in the future he'd probably just be like normal. They'd be like, all right, it's whatever. You bring Flavor Flav back to like years ago, like 1700 or something. Call him Flavor Slave. Be crazy. You bring
Call me on that one.
You get Ted Bundy, like the murderer, and you drop Ted, right? Wasn't Ted Bundy the murderer, right? The gun guy. Drop Ted Bundy off in the middle of a busy city with a weapon, but in the year 2200, when there are no more white people alive anymore, and he just appears in the middle of a city with an old shotgun. Ted Bundy. And there's people on their like VRs. They don't even know he's there. They're walking around like whatever on their VRs. This old time crazy guy. Nobody's white anymore, and he's got a shotgun. And they just starts opening up. Suck my boomstick. Yeah, it'd be crazy. It'd be a wild time, man. How about like you bring Washington, right? Because Washington, you bring him into the future. Bring George Washington to the
Grab all the founding fathers and show them what a mess the country is.
No, bring Washington in the year 2028, and then the people of the year 2028 will hang George Washington for being a racist, right? Now, how weird would that be to see actually like you're actually watching George Washington being hung, like the real George Washington. Anyway,
capital punishment.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. So, we could really take people out of their element, Flavor Flav, 1 minute he's a star making millions of dollars. The next minute he's running away. Bring George Washington, 1 minute he's the president, everything's going good. And then you bring him to the future to see what the world's become and they hang the guy. It'd be wild to put people out of their element, man. I want to see this. This is the TV show we would create if we had time travel.
Yeah, really. This is what we would delve into, the madness.
Especially if we found out that time travel didn't affect our time. Like we could just go grab.
That'd be
right.
Parallel universe theory, string theory.
Like
there's delve into that.
There will be no paradox. Like there will be no world-ending thing that could happen. We're just messing
really
up.
derped with that. That'll screw your brain up.
Yeah, we're just messing up all the other people's timelines, but ours is fine. So
ours will be intact, but everything else will be messed to hell.
Yeah.
I like it. Can we kidnap Vince McMahon too and make him do some good stuff for once? This decade?
Well,
Christ.
Well, how about this, man? So everybody wants to talk about Keith Lee, Adam Cole, and everything. Adam Cole, blah blah blah. So I watched NXT. I watched the whole thing.
Did you? Did you like it more than AEW?
No.
No.
No, I thought the women's match was pretty good.
I really enjoyed the women's match, and the Swerve match was really good as well against Gargano, and then the main event. Those were the three that I've seen. I didn't see everything else that transpired yet. Gargano's
match with Swerve was really good. Like I was watching, I was like,
so good.
Damn, this was a good
match. Phoenix
match.
was spot on the money with that. That was certainly a highlight for me of the show. I would probably take that as my favorite, only because the outcome was spoiled for the main event. But
yeah,
I still enjoyed it.
I don't know, man. That ruined it, or something ruined it for me. Like, first of all, I thought Keith Lee might win anyway. I thought like maybe he will win, and then when he did, it was kind of like, it was just so like I hate to say this, but it was like it's almost like they were just going through the steps. It didn't feel.
Yeah, going through the motions.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Yeah, that's how I felt about the 8-man tag match. As Spaz said, I don't want to take his line, but puppets, and that's the thing, and that's what I was trying to explain last night. They all felt like marionettes. They go through the routes. You can just tell how heavily scripted it is.
Ted Bundy wasn't a gun guy. He was more of a serial killer to women. Okay, I get it. Okay, so we set him up on a date in the year 2150.
Didn't he lure women in Wasn't that his shtick?
Yeah, I guess it
He
was.
would act injured or in need, and then he'd kidnap women and torture them. And didn't he also wear their skin, or was that somebody else? You get them all confused. Tommy's Heroes.
Yeah, a lot of heroes for him. But no, I was happy. I was happy that Lee won, I guess. But it wasn't. It just wasn't what I thought. It was pretty good. It was a good match. It just
apparently USA Network was the driving force of that. They're the ones behind it. They're pulling out all the stops in the Wednesday Night War. And according to Metzler from Wrestling Observer Radio, he said this was a lot less commercials. And last week, even, it was very clear that this show from NXT side was all about winning and not about making money. And that, they said that USA Network really wanted a win from this, and USA Network was the one making the call about using less commercials as well. So they also had a
why the fuck do they care? What did they beat TNT? Are they in like a?
Yeah, they obviously want to be ahead in the ratings.
I mean, I guess you're right, but
yeah, it matters to the network to be number one. They want that bragging rights. And now we're 3 weeks in a row that NXT
yeah, but who's really
top.
Number one? Isn't somebody who got the viewership that night? Or
the
they want to be number
viewership
one?
was NXT. Demographic was AEW.
I'm talking about all the other stuff on TV.
I don't know. I don't have that list in front of me, but
I mean, didn't they lose to like everything else almost? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I'll have to check that in a little bit. But I mean, Fyter Fest brought in 715,000 fans, and Great American Bash drew 759,000.
So they
both down from the week prior, because week prior NXT had 792. This week was 759, and AEW had 748, and that's down to 715 this week. So both shows went down a little bit, but.
Ever since Sammy Guevara wanted to Sasha Banks, the numbers have gone down. You ever notice that? Ever since
I made that correlation, last time as well. I said they got rid of him, and I felt very.
I mean, I don't know if
watching the first week that Sammy was gone too, just because I was so agitated with the company and the stance they took against him. So
right.
At least publicly. I mean, Sasha Banks forgave him, and I know we've covered this, but still, it was just really disheartening the way it was handled. He didn't need to go to sensitivity training and miss paydays and be taken off of TV. So,
right. Dr. Earl Brown, what up, Dr. Earl Brown? What's up to the doctor, baby? What's going on, brother? Let's play a donation just to see if they're working right. Let's see what's going on here.
Super Chat.
It's Spaz Phoenix.
Party.
Baby.
AEW got Jericho to pull some WCW stuff, sharing the main event spoiler. They were even bribing their fans with giveaways to stay and watch the ads, and the black and gold brand still won, baby.
Yeah, Jericho's going full Trump on the Twitter too. Like, we won. Like I love Jericho. I do love him. I think I like AEW better too. But Jericho is going full pull out all the stops of how they actually really won. And
yeah, and I like how
bizarre.
Any week they have more viewership. They like, oh, we won, but then it just seems so. Again, petty is the word. But all right, you did better in it's the 18 to 49 demographic, and that's important. I get that. And demographic has always been sought after, but they also want viewership, and it's like AEW. I know they don't want to be like, oh, just steamrolled and they beat us, congrats to them. But then again, it's just the way they have to be like, but we still won this. Don't forget, we're still winners. It just gives them kind of a sore loser look. To me, anyways. Seeing Tony Khan go on and on about how, oh no, don't, the demographic's the most important, and don't forget that. He adds in here, thank you all who helped make Fyter Fest a huge success, and our best 18 to 34 audience since March, number 2 last night in the 12 to 34 males as well. We don't charge pay-per-view for the money for the show, so I appreciate the investment, and thank you for helping us succeed. And I get what you're going for, but they when they keep going on and on to every outlet saying, we won still.
Talk about building a narrative. Dude, Tony Khan is like setting the narrative block right here.
Exactly.
This is so bizarre.
He's good to the PR spin angle. And WWE can be just as petty as well. And I dislike both companies
Yeah.
You know, for pulling off these type of things. AEW for constantly having to, even if it's a cheap shot or an obvious joke, I'm tired of them attacking WWE or modeling skits and vignettes and promos after something that would sting WWE. And, you know, WWE pulling their stuff as well at times, just being petty with trademarks and things of that nature. It just looks bad on both sides. There's no good optics here.
I know, this is hilarious. Like, he actually put out a tweet. Remember that time he tweeted you?
Yeah.
Oh,
that was defending his name again.
We can talk about that now, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was long enough.
We don't have to talk about what it was about, but we can say that Tony Khan DM'd you.
Yeah, without me reaching out to him, he reached right out to me and told me, you know, his side of the story for things and helped clear up some misconceptions for an issue that was going on, and was very polite. Talked to him, conversed for a little bit back and forth, and he was very nice.
You know, you talked to a billionaire, right?
I know, crazy.
It's the first time a billionaire's ever talked to you.
I know. Tell me about it.
Or me. I think I talked to a poor Dixie Carter.
She had money at one point. So
remember this? We talked about this. We said you got the better one.
Yeah,
you ended up getting the better owner. You got Tony Khan. I got fucking Dixie Carter as she was fired.
These are the things I would love to pick his brain about, though. You know,
well, but no. My point in bringing this up is that he's clearly proactive in like sort of setting records straight. You know, and like I understand the need to sort of respond because there's a lot of people saying stuff to him that probably triggered him.
Yeah, it probably triggered the hell out of him. You
lost, you failed, you idiot. Like, look what's going on. And it's like, well, we're doing this in these areas, and you know,
you're destroyed. And really, it's less than what 30,000 for the viewership difference.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
it's neck and neck.
If I was him, I guess I would just tweet out like, we had a great night tonight. Very proud of everybody as we continue to work building this AEW brand.
Exactly. Everything he said in the second tweet was fine.
Yeah, we've had some great wins and some great losses as far as numbers can go, but really we don't look at it that way. We look at the audience enjoyment, and we think if we keep doing things right, we're going to go in the right direction, blah, blah. But instead it's like, look at these numbers, guys. See? It's very strange. Like what? Oh, you want to empty the dehumidifier? It's probably the mold. It's probably the mold killing me.
That stuff builds up easily after a while.
Yeah, it's on my crotch.
Ooh.
It's growing right on the wrong spot of the world, everyone in the chat. Hit that like button, by the way. Who's got a big one in the chat for Daddy Cronin tonight, huh? Sorry.
Pour me a beer.
Lost my mind.
You've got a new subscriber.
Yo, Simp for Grace Randolph. Thank you for subbing to the channel, man. What's up? Welcome all the simps here. Now simp for me. Can you simp for me? I need to pay the bills. So if you can simp for me, I'll rub my nippies, and I'll sing Sweet Caroline or something like that for you. So, oh, God. When they do that at Fenway, I start. I mean, I really get weird. Unless I'm hammered.
Yeah, then you get into it.
Then you're like, yeah. And it was kind of cool, too, in 2002 and 3. But then once the Red Sox won the World Series, and then they started making all the movies about the Red Sox, and everybody got Red Sox fever around the whole country for some reason.
Yeah, everybody wanted to see them succeed.
Yeah, and everybody
break the curse.
And now people hate us again, I think. But it was at the time, it was just like cringy. It was like, oh God, like it was. I don't know. It went from kind of being funny, but some people hated it. But then it was super cringe when everybody was doing it. Now other people do it at their games, and it's like, what the hell's going on? But yeah, super cringe. No, but so yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I know. By the way, I got excited because during Great American Bash, they had an Io Shirai commercial for a match. I thought that match was going to happen that night, and I was like, oh, this looks great. And then they were like, next week.
Yeah, her and Tegan Knox are going to be facing off next week.
Yeah, that's
the same night Fight for the Fallen's happening. So that match hopefully will draw in some viewers. But Fight for the Fallen, as we were discussing last night, sounds like it's really stacked. So
yeah, Fight for the Fallen looks like it's going to be
Cody
good.
and Sonny Kiss. We have the AEW Championship match. I mean, there's a lot going on. So
3 weeks of solid booking from AEW.
Yeah, certainly a good time to be a wrestling fan. On Wednesday nights, anyways.
It's too bad that one's not on Thursday, though. I mean, it really because
I wish they weren't going head to head. I think they'd get nearly double the viewership they have now, and instead of having to work against each other, they could really kind of build this sort of, like Tuesdays would have been great for AEW, and then they can have Dark on at 7 and then go right into Dynamite. I think that would work perfect.
Yeah, I wish that we had the ability to really digest the shows like in real time. And I don't think it doesn't quite remind me of the Monday Night War because it's like there's too many matches and stuff. So what I'm trying to say is like I just feel like there's too many matches. Like so like you're kind of like, do I want to watch this match or that match? And then you're sort of trying to decide sometimes and you don't know what to do. Whereas there was a vibe, like usually a major story or multiple storylines. Like during the Monday Night Wars, usually there was one major storyline going on, and that would sort of plan it out how you would go. Like if they would announce that like Goldberg's gonna be here tonight to challenge Hulk Hogan at the end of the night or something like that, and they start the night by showing him arriving to the building and he gets jumped or whatever, and you're like, all right, I want to know what happens, kind of. But then WWF on the other channel was like, something similar with Stone Cold, and Vince McMahon. And once you saw Vince McMahon and Stone Cold and Vince being like, you'll get arrested tonight, you son of a bitch, if you do this, you were like, oh, I'm not turning this off. Like, I think I'm going to flip back to WCW at the main event to see if there's a match. But you were like, I'm not leaving with the Stone Cold Vince thing. Like, that was really the thing that made you go, oh, I'm not changing that. I can't miss WWE because I don't know what the hell is going to happen over there. And like, or the beginning.
Exactly.
Remember the
you had to tune in. You had to watch. It was must see.
Remember the night Mankind won? It was like, I know they gave away that.
Well, yeah, I think that's what Spaz was getting in his donation, pulling WCW stuff, because they literally called it out on the air saying, oh, Mick Foley's going to win the world title. That'll put butts in seats, I think was the line.
Yeah.
And everybody tuned into Raw saying, what? I've got to see this happen. So they screwed themselves and shot themselves in the foot. And I kind of feel like that's what happened with NXT last night, because people were like, well, Keith Lee's going to win. I want to see how.
And they've been talking about it for weeks, but they'd already won last week, even when people didn't know. So they were already winning. So it's a good argument to be made that AEW has lost a significant portion of audience somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this is really weird. Like some of the NXT rating has slightly gone up, right? NXT has seemingly gained 50,000 people back, or regulars, and AEW has seemingly lost, I don't know, man, it's like a lot.
A good amount, because 2 weeks ago when WWE first won, NXT first won, AEW only pulled a little over 600,000 viewers. NXT was at almost 800,000. So I mean, big 200,000 viewers difference there.
But remember the night when Mick Foley won? Wasn't that the same night that Shawn Michaels got put through a car?
Yeah, he got assaulted in the parking lot.
Right.
There was like one thing after another that night. That's one of my favorite episodes of Raw.
That is
such a classic.
I was there, so it's really crazy. But being there kind of hindered a little bit of it because I didn't really see all of the
backstage stuff.
Yeah, the backstage, because we weren't in our seats in time. So my point is, I watched it later because I was recording it at home, and I watched it at home because it wasn't live. You know what I mean? So I mean, like, so like I got to go experience the show
and then watch it,
and then I was waiting at home, like, hey, I'm gonna watch it, and I saw the Shawn Michaels opening, and it made a lot more sense to me what I was seeing that night. But it was like, it was crazy. That episode of Raw is one of the best episodes of Raw. And it's weird because at the time Stone Cold was so hot, and you would think that he would be the one to win the belt or whatever else would happen. But it wasn't. It was Mick Foley, and just the way it all went down, and the crowd pop.
That pop is still unrivaled to this day. I mean, that's probably the number one pop of all time.
Dude, Worcester, Massachusetts, that building
nuts.
Is amazing. If you've never
I've
been to
there
that
a
building,
few times. Many moons ago.
Monster
obviously.
trucks, baby.
Yeah, I went for Monster Trucks. I went for Raw. I went for a couple of concerts. So
let's listen to it. We can never get enough of this.
Really good on Shamrock!
The only thing that sucked was Michael Cole was on commentary because JR was out.
Yeah.
And Michael Cole's voice hadn't deepened yet. But he had more.
You even want to call his voice deep now. But.
I didn't like his voice back then, but Michael Cole still had more energy and passion back then than he does now. Way better.
He gave a damn then.
Because I don't think he knew there was no Vince in his ear. Because Vince was out in the ring.
DX and the corporate team are going at it. Look out! What? Oh no! Stone Cold is here! Oh no! Stone Cold is here! Look out, Mr. Man! The rattlesnake is here! Look out!
When you hear that chair shot.
Boom! God damn it, man. Explodes. Like, I can't get enough of that one.
Everybody holding up, all DX holding up Mick Foley, marching around the ring. Like, it's so emotional. So great.
Yeah, Goldberg in Atlanta beating Hogan is probably WCW's biggest one. When he picks him up for the jackhammer, and the crowd, when he picks him up for the jackhammer, is like...
It wasn't knocking Big Show off the roof?
Yeah.
Finger poke of doom. WCW, yeah, they, for as much as they had some explosive angles, they had so many flops that just fun to look back on. All the just explosively bad creative decisions.
Trying to compare that pop, trying to grab it. I love the best thing about WCW was always that ring. It just, when they cracked down, that ring was like it sounded like just plywood.
Where you gotta dig down deep. Where you gotta suck it up. Where you gotta prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you belong here.
Can use the diamond cutter. And look at Goldberg. He's ready.
Sounds like we're listening to a radio fucking broadcast from
really
from 1920 or something. Oh man,
Goldberg.
Up to the plate.
It's because this was uploaded on YouTube like way long ago, and it's like shit.
Yeah.
This place will erupt when he picks him up. He's got him up.
Oh, they'll also fast the audio up. Dude, that celebration of the crowd when he gets the 3 count.
Yeah, dethroning Hogan and destroying the NWO in one fell swoop. That was huge.
And just stuff is being thrown in the ring, and you can't tell where the fans are sitting and where it looks like fans are like flying up into the air. It's crazy, dude. Back in the late 90s. What's so crazy about that time too is how wrestling had a down time right before that. So it's wrestling is just so interesting to me because in the very early 80s, it kind of had a prestige in a way. The people knew about it, but a lot of people didn't love it, but a lot of people did know about it.
Yeah, those that liked wrestling loved it, but there was more that were just unaware. Yeah,
and then a lot of other people just were like, no, I never watched that, but it was pretty big, but it wasn't crazy. And then when WrestleMania started and it blew up.
Yeah, the Rock and Wrestling, Cyndi Lauper.
Oh my God, dude! Like so they have this big boom in the '80s, amazing boom of wrestling in the '80s.
All of it, they got into pop culture and
then
intertwined with.
And then to watch it dwindle down in the early '90s, like from like 1993 or probably maybe '92 even, like 1992 to like 1995 especially, it was so broken at that point, WWE especially.
No one wanted to see these silly characters, the Repo Men, the Doinks, that, it wasn't working. They wanted serious, or at least more serious storylines and unpredictability, chaos, hardcore, and it just, there was a search for violence and boobs.
What's interesting about that too is how, even though everybody was watching the Attitude Era in WCW at the time in 98, right? Fast forward to 1998, me and you were all kids. It's amazing because I was just starting to phase out of wrestling a little bit. I was like, all right, and I just started to phase out of wrestling, and it's almost like right as I was sort of being like, I still love wrestling, but I don't watch it like I used to. Right as that was happening, was when the real stuff started happening, and they started. Yeah,
that's
changing.
When I became an actual diehard of wrestling. The Attitude Era really turned me. It was Stone Cold was one of the major players that really made me become obsessed. and has such a huge affinity for wrestling.
Dude, then it was like, it's just crazy. And then to see it get to that point right there, because you couldn't have dreamed that you would see a crowd like that again. Like in 1995, I couldn't picture seeing a crowd explode like that for Goldberg.
No. And it lasted till, I swear, like WrestleMania 20. And then it started to dwindle down with signs and fans.
But this era, I'm comparing it now to our era now. Like, I feel like our era now, we've been in this same era for the last 10 years of sort of like almost like a baseball team without a closer. Like, there's no guy.
Yeah.
There's a whole
And Vince
bunch.
doesn't want to make big stars, so this is working to, his mindset of things. He doesn't want to have anybody more powerful in the company that can walk out and screw him over or, really take charge and mess up a storyline. Because right now, think about it, there is no head guy that can go ahead and be the face of the company. And if anybody left, fired, walked out, died, they wouldn't be up a creek. They just, transition right on to the next thing. Everyone's replaceable. As were years ago when Stone Cold had an issue, didn't show up for work, it caused a huge ripple. There was problems when people weren't happy. Yeah,
and even then, at least, there was just always somebody. It's like, it's amazing how did they get so lucky? Like, in the 80s, like, you still had, Macho, Hulk Hogan. And then when there was no Hogan and Macho and Warrior and stuff like that, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels stepped up. And although they didn't feel the same level of Hulk Hogan, and they weren't in a way, although we loved them anyway, they were just great performers. They were so good. They let their wrestling take over everything with a little bit of that character.
Yeah, exactly.
But now, it's like we've already done this before on other episodes Out of Nowhere going back years ago. But I just, it's so easy when you compare it like this. Is Seth Rollins better than the Macho Man Randy Savage? No.
Yeah, no way.
No way. And Macho Man wasn't the A+ guy in the WWE. Macho Man was never the number one guy in the WWE. Macho Man was never the number one guy in...
But he stood head and shoulders above the rest because he was so easily identifiable, and he had such marketability and charisma and so likable that even when you were supposed to detest him, you still loved him.
When I think about a guy coming to the ring, I see Seth Rollins more like the best comparison, and I don't think he lives up to this guy quite either in a way, but I think Seth Rollins is kind of like Jake the Snake Roberts. He's sort of like Jake the Snake Roberts was never the guy.
He made an impact. He did certain things very well, but he didn't, he wasn't exemplary. He didn't super succeed in anything.
Well, I disagree, though. I think that Jake Roberts was a perfect A+ as a heel or as as just a veteran psychological wrestler. Like, he had that area that he was perfect in.
No argument there, but to no fault of his own, even you could say too, he just never reached. He kind of plateaued. He never reached that level of being the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think he. I think he could have been, though. I think he could have had the belt as a heel. Like, I think it would have been better if he didn't. It's because he had alcohol problems. If he was, imagine if Jake the Snake Roberts was gonna wrestle Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 7 as the heel instead of Sergeant Slaughter, right? The Sergeant Slaughter thing was goofy, kind of, but it worked, I guess. So for them,
worked.
But imagine Jake Roberts like, Hogan, what I'm gonna do to you with this belt, and he would just like looking at it with his eyes into the camera, but what he's gonna do to Hogan, and they do. He did it with Macho Man, with the snake biting him and all the other stuff they did with Macho Man. Like, that shit was great. So you had a guy who nowadays we say, why didn't he ever win the world title? But instead he was a guy who was a mid-card, and he did such a great job. But a guy like Seth Rollins has won multiple world titles and things. And by the way, I think Rollins' character right now is the best. Like, it's goofy, it's funny, it's stupid, but it's like it's funny and like it's entertaining me a little bit. But
I do agree with Spirit Infinity Roy. He said Ambrose could have been huge. WWE screwed him up. I agree there. but they wanted him to be a certain way and a certain character, and that wasn't what he wanted to do. He wanted to be Moxley again and succeed and excel at that, and they weren't willing. They wanted him to be this comedy, loony, crazy son of a bitch. So that was their mindset.
They wanted him to be me.
Yeah,
they wanted him to be Joe Cronin. They
Rough
wanted
around
him.
They
really did. That's what I'm dead serious,
fall
man.
off the handle.
They wanted Joe Cronin as the and I'm not saying that that's I'm not making some kind of thing like I'm great or something. I'm saying that weird guy comes to the ring and tries to saw a mannequin's crotch. Now Dean or Moxley says he hated that. He goes, it was ridiculous.
It wasn't about all that. If he enjoyed that aspect of his gimmick, and I bet you it would have taken off to a whole nother level. But
yeah.
You can tell he was just disenfranchised with the whole thing.
And I kind of agree with him because he's sort of a big dude who's capable of being more serious. If I was in the WWE, which I wouldn't be, I mean, I wish I could be, but I wouldn't be. But if 5'10" Joe Cronin was in the WWE, I would never do well with serious. Like, I'm going to be this serious whatever. I would be way funnier if I was sawing a mannequin's crotch, being crazy.
Yeah, you'd have
saying,
to be unexpected and totally chaotic.
Pushing a hot dog
Bring
cart.
your chaos.
Like, let me serve hot dogs for you. Like, let me do this. I'm going to inject myself with, dog fucking semen. Like, I mean, that would be stuff that I'd be into. I'd be like, yeah, make me crazy. I like it. Okay, let's go. I wouldn't be like, I'm a super serious wrestler, because I don't look like I'm a super serious wrestler. So no one's
And look at how
that.
bad his heel turn was. That was pre-written for them.
Wow.
They didn't have to do a damn thing. That was ready to go. They know that he can cut these great psychologically driven promos, and instead they make him into a nutcase germaphobe. Like, it was just very bizarre with the way they took that. The whole route they took to get him and Seth to fight, and then they just let go of it. And they were like, all right, it's done.
It'd be funny if they went with the germaphobe thing. Like, to me, like if they were like, if he wore gloves out to the ring and he was like, and he walked directly down the center of the aisle.
Yeah, but see, they never got straight into that.
And when he looked at the crowd, he went, and then he got in the ring, and then before he has a match, he gets inoculated. With some kind of shot because of how disgusting. I mean, that's funny if you're like, we're going to create a character.
They kind of did that with him getting the shots from the doctor. And
yeah. Well, and
wearing the gas mask. But the problem was
weird.
I liked him coming out. 1 week he attacked Seth Rollins, and then the very next week he was in the ring acting like nothing happened, like they were friends. And I said to you, that is great. That you can do so much with that. That can be so much fun. We've kind of said that about other people currently, to see that gimmick with Matt Hardy where he's part heel, part face. When I was telling you about that idea, I think that would work really well too. One of his alters is, teaming up with the Inner Circle while the rest of him is trying to sabotage that. I think it could be really enjoyable.
That's
but
hilarious.
The problem was they don't have that foresight. They don't, Vince just, if it doesn't float his boat and tickle his fancy, he's not going for it. So.
Yeah, we know from, I mean, this is all stuff that people kind of thought before, but now that we have more we've said this before a million times too, but now that we've had the last 5 years of interviews and old wrestlers coming forward and talking about Vince and what is going on, and current wrestlers who are just leaving and bitching and angry, they've all got the same complaints, and they describe him. You think you know Vince McMahon at this point.
I mean, I was reading an article earlier to coincide with what you're saying now, and Daniel Bryan, he wanted him to be called Lloyd Boner.
What?
He wanted Daniel Bryan to be Lloyd Boner.
When?
And then he was going to have him with a tag team with Buddy Peacock and Lloyd Boner, thinking they were good names. So...
When was this,
when Daniel Bryan was coming off of the independent circuit as Bryan Danielson.
Oh, okay.
He was the American Dragon. So Vince wanted him to be Lloyd Boner.
Jesus.
Neville was going to be Riley Bishop. This was on, was it Sportskeeda 104?
Listen,
they were showing the New Day was going to be the house of positive energy. And it's funny how you hear all these just tremendously awful booking ideas.
I don't mind. I get what Vince is doing, because a lot of these indie guys, let's face it, he's a little bit right, Vince, because a lot of these indie guys just don't work. They come onto the main roster and they're cool name, and even some of them are treated okay. Like, I mean, I think Ricochet was treated well for a little while, and he sort of got over for a little while. Like, for a very brief time, Ricochet was getting over with the fans.
He was, and initially, and then he had a mini resurgence as well. He's done it twice now. When he initially, had his main roster debut, teaming with Aleister Black, he got a lot of fan support. And then, fast forward.
Wait,
later on.
Did you say Sportskeeda?
Yeah.
Fake news. You're right. I'm sorry. Pocket Aces. You're right. We can't trust those people.
All verified stories, but
are they?
I mean,
isn't that Bahati's site?
That's incidental with this bullshit.
I don't know, man. That's like an India site that
these are just things you've heard throughout the years. Like Stone Cold's name was going to be Fang McFrost. Things we've heard him talk about this.
Okay.
Autobahn Ruthless, Ice Dagger. What else were some of the other ones?
What was the Ice one? That was really funny.
Ice Dagger was one of them.
Ice Dagger.
Yeah.
Ice Dagger.
Ice Dagger, and that's when
he's not Ice Dagger.
Your T's gonna go Stone Cold.
He's cold.
He took that.
He's stone cold. It's great. It's great stuff, man. What a great that was a great. But see, a lot of Vince's ideas, unfortunately, like you're supposed to start out that way. You start out stupid and obvious. You got like, well, he's like a sledgehammer. We'll call him Sledgehammer, and then you're like, well, that's stupid, and you call him Mr. Sledge, and then after a while, you go, nah, just call him the Hammer. Okay, the Hammer sounds cool. The Hammer. Or you look at names, alternate names for Hammer, like Sledgehammer. So then you end up being like, let's call him Sledge. That's cool. And then you come up with Sledge because you started with Hammer Time or the Hammer Jet guy, and then eventually you come up with Sledge. Or you look up old time like hammers and axes and things like that, and then you come up with Odin Sledge, like that's like a mix of Odin and Sledge and Thor and all these different things, and you go Odin Sledge. Dude,
so you have a process that you work down through, but
exactly.
Some of them, it's just. I mean, look what they wanted to do. Like Gorilla Strong just said in the chat. Look what they wanted to do with the revival. That was abysmal.
Oh God.
That was so embarrassing. Thank God, and they even said, thank God they didn't do it, but they said, we'll do it, and we'll do it the best of our abilities. But as soon as we can, we're not re-signing. So as soon as we can leave, we're out of here.
Right. Yeah, that's funny. I mean, it's a mess.
You're not wrong about that. But it like I said, they're not willing to make... Going into a story I was going to talk about in a little bit is the hacker that was on SmackDown was very reminiscent of the in the Attitude Era the GTV type thing. But he would pop up and he ruined Dolph Ziggler's plans with Mandy. That happened to build to the WrestleMania angle and whatnot. So we saw all these things happen, and the hacker was a pretty prevalent story for quite a while. And then all of a sudden, nothing came of it. We just had silence, and we haven't seen him. And apparently, Mustafa Ali requested to be moved to Raw when Paul Heyman was there, because Paul Heyman was all about pushing new guys and younger talent, and he felt ignored by Bruce Pritchard and wanted a chance to have a moment to succeed. Well, now we see that Mustafa Ali has been transferred back to SmackDown because Pritchard's on both shows, and this, gimmick has been completely just scrapped and thrown to the wayside. So all the weeks of the vignettes and all the different, hacker moments that we've seen, and the little glitches that came, it's just all for naught. They just kind of threw it to the wayside for no real reason.
Yeah, we were all waiting for what's going to happen with that, and so nothing's going to happen with Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, it's just, that's it at this point in time. He went to Vince, like I said, and personally asked to be switched to Raw because of Heyman. And then with Pritchard taking over everything, he said that, he's like, I feel like I'm stuck in limbo. And Vince McMahon's new philosophy, it says here, of not wanting to build new superstars and pushing those who are already established doesn't play into Ali's favor. And that's very true and unfortunate.
Good God, man. I mean... You could really do a lot with that hacker type of thing too, where he's
There was a ton they can do with a lot of these things right now.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm worried about Drew McIntyre, because, I mean, he hasn't really had the greatest of opposition. Now he's going to face Dolph Ziggler in a stipulation that Dolph says no one has seen before. Brand new stipulation. So God knows what that'll be. We already have an eye for an eye match going on.
It's going to be a challenger can punch you in the balls match without being disqualified.
You get pegged.
Yeah, like, I don't know what. Very bizarre. Donations, I forgot about them. Here we go.
Super Chat Party.
Spaz Phoenix.
Spoiler, Nyla Rose's winner is his manager.
Oh, it's her. Come on, it's her. What are you doing? Spaz Phoenix, baby. Thank you, Spaz. Who is the manager, I wonder, going to be? People are saying Jim Cornette.
Oh, God.
They'd have to pay him a lot of money. I mean, not that NWA was paying him much. How about NWA just falling apart? Like, Jim Cornette's gone, and then what's his face?
Now they've lost everybody.
Allegedly trying to finger bang someone while they were asleep, and that ruined it. I would have just been like, listen, fuck it. Like, NWA is done. Like, talk about what a fun experiment that was until cancel culture. Maybe WWE's behind the cancel culture. They're putting all these people out of business.
They're the ones.
Or actually, AEW would probably be the ones that are doing it. That's why they're only suspending their people.
Super
That's hilarious.
Chat Party.
You played yourself, NWA.
Wanna hear a joke? AEW's women's division.
Now, they've had some of their best matches recently, but yeah, it's been... still hasn't been the best. But, yeah, I would say NXT has still got them, but Sheeta's has had a good job, has had a good... I buy Sheeta a lot more than Rio. I'm actually happy for Sheeta, so... I don't know who else is going to be involved in anything. When Nyla Rose speaks, it makes me just ill. I don't know why.
Why Society says it's Vicky Guerrero, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, God, if that's... I don't know how I feel about that one.
Well,
Excuse me?
Maybe they were like, well, you need to stop talking because you're scaring people, Nyla. So let's get someone else who's scary, but the people won't make the jokes or whatever.
What else we got?
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
It's funny demographics wasn't a thing till NXT started winning. If I was there, I'd be worried their build-up show lost 2 weeks in row to thrown together show.
Yeah, I think it's kind of messed up. You lost to the response. You literally lost to the response. Well, according to Tony Khan, they didn't lose, or Chris Jericho, but technically you lost to the response. If we're, so which is weird, kind of weird. You would think that you would win after you were winning. They were winning.
Can we see Sasha crucified by Asuka at the horror show? That's a horror show at Extremely Horrible Rules, the horror show of shows.
Yeah. Well, thank God they put horror show on the name because...
Oh, now that's what it is now, the horror show at Extreme Rules.
Because Extreme Rules sucks every year. It's not extreme, it's dumb.
Even calling it the horror show is still...
It would be better if there was no Extreme Rules.
I don't hate it, but...
They just call it the horror show and get rid of Extreme Rules, because it ain't...
Yeah, if it was just the horror show, I think I think it's the combination of the two names.
I mean,
that just doesn't work.
We would make fun of horror show anyway, but I mean, I get it.
I would make fun of it less because it fits with what they're doing with the swamp fight and the eye for an eye match. So
yeah,
I say that kind of fits with the card, and you can still have it be extreme since it's horror themed.
I think Rio gobbles people in the locker room. How about that?
Super Chat Party.
I think Rio gobbles.
Once Ray pulls out Seth Sai, he should drag him to Bray's swamp and fuck the socket because he's upset he's short.
Spaz Phoenix, thank you for the $5. It'd be funny if he did rip his eyeball out and then fed it to Dominic. That's what I want to see.
Here you go. Gobble this down. Suck it up.
Yeah, Rio looked like a fan that got in the ring somehow. And then she beat up Luther, the most dangerous Japanese deathmatch wrestler of all time. I'm never going to stop bringing this up because I still can't fathom that it happened. You promoted who is this guy and then promoted, wow, he's this dangerous death Japanese wrestler, Luther. And then two Asian women bested him in his first ever 2 physical altercations on separate nights. It doesn't get any funnier than that for AEW. That's hilarious.
Since AEW is pulling a third so-called PPV out of their rear next week if NXT beats them with a normal episode, I promise you all I'm gonna even more obnoxious.
Oh, wow. Spaz Phoenix, man, he's going off. He's a hardcore NXT, man. I heard the review on NXT. Yeah, I won't let Spaz, thanks for the donations, man. Spaz is carrying the show right now, guys. Yeah, I'll never let Luther go, guys. I will never let it go because it's so dumb. It's the dumbest. Like, it's like sort of like levels that like it's even further than it's like WWE does more dumb things than AEW, right? Like WWE does more dumb things than AEW, but. of all the dumb things, that had to be, I don't know, like if anybody's listening right now in the last year or two, can somebody tell me a bigger what the F than that? And maybe you can, and maybe there is, but I'm trying to envision WWE being like, who is this guy for weeks? And then he shows up and then they say, well, that's the death match Japanese. He was a star in Japan for his death matches, and he's a dangerous individual. And then
his hardcore abilities will defy your mind. Something like that.
I think the best comparison to Luther is Tensai, but Tensai came in and at least won his first matches and looked like a badass. And they were like,
he did, but
oh
the crowd couldn't accept the gimmick. It was such a 180 from what he was previously with Albert and A-Train.
Because you were like,
the crowd
Albert.
Just saw him that way still. They couldn't accept that he was Tensai.
Did they do vignettes?
Yeah, they did little like Japanese letters and stuff like that beforehand. I remember seeing like Tensai is coming, that kind of thing.
Well, Neo the one says, Chris Jericho won't tweet you unless you start liking Luther. They're buddies. I like Luther as a person and as his deathmatch stuff. I don't hate Luther. It's not about, I have no problem with the man and Luther. I have a problem with the character as it's presented on AEW. Jericho would admit, if we had Jericho on this show right now, if we had Chris Jericho listening and he was calling in and I just reiterated all this to him, he would say the same thing. He'd be like, that is stupid. There's no way he wouldn't. There's no way he wouldn't. Unless he said, but it's pretty funny. Like that. I mean, if that was the point, like to be hilarious, then it was pretty fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but I don't think that was their intention. So
Tensai
versus Luther, Reckless Jeff says. There we go. Matt Bloom will be all over that.
Dude.
Lord Tensai. Yes,
it really, like, that is the best comparison that you can come up with, I think. But, again, Tensai, can you imagine if Tensai came in and they were like, here's this crazy guy who's been in Japan winning titles and all these things, and then, like, Mickie James beat him up?
I know. But then they did make him sweet tea and dance around everywhere.
Yeah.
With the Funkadactyls and Brodus Clay.
Well, it's classic Vince. If we get a big guy who's dangerous, within about 3 months to 9 months, he'll be dancing like an idiot, doing something stupid. So
and it happens every time.
Every time. Do you remember when Rusev hadn't done it yet, and we said, "Oh,
it's coming. We knew it."
Are you ready for Rusev to be doing something goofy? And it was like you knew it.
They get somebody, you look back through history, Rikishi, Big Show, like it just time and time again, it doesn't stop. Mm-hmm. Vince gets these guys, and he gives them a week, and if they don't instantly get over heel or face, that's it. He's going to punish them and turn them into this ridiculous gimmicks.
It's like Vince love it. Like every time you're at Vince's house, he pushes people into the pool because he thinks it's funny.
Yeah, he thinks that's hilarious.
Like, so he always does it, especially if it's like a new person. He pushes them in the pool.
Childlike. And they say people that don't have childhoods often have that type of childish sense of humor.
Well,
and apparently he didn't really have much of a childhood, so it would make sense. It would add up.
I'm down with Vince's I'm like right there with him on that. Like I would have a blast with the guy. Like, I mean, I would push Vince in the pool. Or like I'd push someone in the pool in front of Vince to make him laugh. And then like
do it to somebody else before it's done to you. Kind of thing.
Yeah, and then I would rip my shirt off and I'd dive in the pool. And I'd do dumb stuff in front of Vince to make him laugh.
You'd have to, and just to get on his good side. And see, that's the sad part that you have to suck up or play.
Oh, but I'd have fun doing it, though. Like, it'd be great.
Even if you're having fun, it's terrible that you have to play his games. I mean, it's one thing if you're enjoying it, like you said, but...
Well, when you're having this laugh with him, when you're having a laugh with him, and you do something dumb that makes him laugh, and you're, like, embarrass yourself maybe, but he's laughing, he likes it, that's when you go, hey, Vince, this is hilarious. But you know something? If I told you that I could get us 1 million more viewers, would you? You'd be interested in that, wouldn't you? What the hell are you talking about?
Is it gonna make me money?
Yeah, I mean, like I kind of think I think it sucks. We should have 1 million to 2 million more viewers than we do right now, don't you? What the hell are you saying? Well, this is what's going on, and then he might listen to you, But and he does have that. Who's doing that with him now is Bruce. Problem is, even though Bruce is a good, smart guy and Bruce is good, but he's also
evolved into a total yes man.
Yeah, and he's also he's probably more of a yes man because he just needs money right now. He hasn't been working for,
And he's turned into booking. What he would do many years ago is he's on repeat.
That's what I was gonna say. Is the guy is out of ideas. Like he's always had. I want to say about Bruce Pritchard that most creative guys that come into wrestling, they don't last. They're gone within a year or whatever. Bruce Pritchard, if he has 10 ideas, 3 of them are good, right? Which is good in a way. 30% for some reason to me is pretty good. Like if Bruce Pritchard has 10 ideas, 3 of them are usually good. And then there's like a bunch that are just weird, and then there's a couple that are bad. Like it's just
it's how many of those they execute on, and how many of those bad ideas they bring forward without adding in the good. That's the problem. So that he might have 3 good ideas, and that's the only good things we'll see on TV for 6 months because we're seeing the rest of his bad ideas because no one's telling him no.
Well, and Vince is liking some of those ideas or whatever,
exactly.
or just being like
the Money in the Bank match that was terrible.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, Money in the Bank is the good example. Like, the Brother Love thing worked great. The guy in the Doink Clown outfit was stupid.
Most of that match was just terrible.
Most of the match made no sense.
Watchable.
It was goofy. It's a lot of the Otis type of stuff, like a guy eating and there's a food fight. That's Vince, and that's also in a way Bruce. Bruce knows how to do it, how Vince wants it done. That's sort of what I'm getting, what you're getting at. Like, Vince says he wants a food fight to happen. Vince says this wants to happen. Well, Bruce knows how Vince wants that done. He already knows. So Vince now doesn't have to take the time to be like, no, why the hell did you do that? You do it like this. And if you get a guy like that, and Bruce already knows all this. So he's like, Vince is going to want a shot of this. Then Vince is going to want a shot of that. And then Vince is going to want a shot at like Bruce knows. And that's why Vince Russo was also good too. Vince Russo's another guy. 3 ideas, epic. Bunch of other ideas, probably shut down. Probably Vince used to shut him down, or Vince would change him. So
then he got the WCW and had creative control, and we saw what happened with his ideas.
Jesus. Well, see, that's where we go back to the point of Vince having no filter. We want to call this guy Sledgehammer Man. And it's like, Sledgehammer Man kind of sounds like shit, Vince. How about Sledge?
Yeah,
That's
he always
cool.
needed that JR or somebody to bounce things off of and whittle it away to turn it into furniture, not just a piece of wood.
Yeah.
Problem is, though, is that we don't have that right now. I mean, even people say, "Oh, imagine if Cornette." Cornette, wants wrestling, followed by the rules to a T, and wants you to go ahead and have a rule book, implemented at all times, and you can't stray from the rules anytime. He wants it very, very like the olden days. And that's what he likes, because anything that's a little bit different or out there, he calls, grassroots mud show kind of stuff. He's very set in his ways, but what we would get from him would be very, very good, granted. But how much of it would be good?
Yeah, I think that the point here is all these guys are good, but they all need to get in. There needs to be a group. There can't just be Vince and a bunch of young people writers and then a yes man under Vince. That's the worst thing ever, because it's like 17 writers, all with these ideas and dreams of what these characters and what they're going to do. Then it gets up to the yes man in front of Vince. Then that guy assumes what Vince will like and won't like, then brings some stuff to Vince. Then Vince wants things changed, and then that guy changes on his thing. And it's like, what? But when Vince sat and wrote Raw with Vince Russo, it was gold, because Vince Russo had all these whacked out ideas, and then Vince had his ideas. And when Vince, for whatever reason, when Vince would tweak some of Russo's ideas alongside with some of the other guys like Jim Cornette and other people and other people later on, and Bruce and whatever, for whatever reason, man, that was the perfect filtration system. It worked, but it doesn't work without the other guy. Like, without, it's weird. It's a lot of things are like this in life, and you see it. And it's too bad, because people get in fights and they break up, or bands break up, or whatever breaks up. And it was like Howard Stern. When Howard Stern, for years, he would always make it work, no matter who he had. It was always great, him and Robin and whoever. And when he had Artie Lang, it was like, it became like another level. When he had Artie Lang, and there was someone else he had, I can't remember, and then Robin and him and everybody, and things just really hit a great stride. And when Artie left, it just kind of went, oh, like, and then he changed and stuff like that. But it's the same way, like, when you lose one person sometimes, the chemistry gets all fucked up like a hockey team. You lose 3 guys, and even though they won a cup, and then everything just completely changes. Like, it can happen so many different things and ways, and there's a better analogy here, and I can't find it, but the bottom line is, you know what I mean? One thing goes out, they all go out somehow, and that's what's going on in WWE. To me, the system is nowhere near what it was like, and it's like, dude, get fucking Cornette, Russo, you, Pritchard, and get a new person. Get
a couple new people.
Yeah,
because you don't want to just keep recycling the same ideas.
Yes, get a couple new people.
You want to be inspired by, but not limited to. You need to get away from these soap opera writers, or get one soap opera writer so you can add in some drama, but don't have an entire team of reality television soap opera writers.
And change the way that the producers film WWE. Like, give every producer carte blanche to be like, you make it however you want it. I don't care how you shoot it. Shoot it however the fuck you want it. And then watch what happens. May the best man win. Vince goes, damn it, that's different. I like what you're doing there.
We're not going to see change when it all comes through the filter of Vince. You know, it's constantly going back to him. So that's the problem. You know, no matter what, with him having that final say so, we're never going to see anything different. It's going to be the same regurgitated stuff because it's coming from his mind.
Yeah.
Sad.
It is. It's a waste, because these guys are alive right now. Paul Heyman, put all these guys in the writer room. Put all these guys in the writer's room. Or put 2 different teams in the writer's room with you. Put Paul Heyman, and I would love to see Paul Heyman and Jim Cornette have to work together. They might. I don't know. I remember we had Conan on a long time ago, and I said that to Conan. I said, why not? Imagine if you had Cornette and whatever. And he goes, oh, man, they might fucking kill themselves or whatever. They fucking stab each other or whatever.
Well, really, it'd be Russo and Cornette. They'd kill each other. But
right. Well, yeah. I wish...
that would be a real horror show.
God, do I have that clip? Because it's so great. I don't know if I do. But the clip, if I could find it, was great. When he's like, dude, they'll fucking stab each other or whatever. And I'm like, yeah. They might stab each... Oh, here it is. I do have it. Ha. Maybe this is the clip, too. No, this is the Dixie Carter clip. I don't know. Let's play it and see what happens. God, this is from 2014.
No competition, because TNA would still be number 2 even if there was no WWE. That fucking show really sucks. I used to work there.
Yeah, I remember you did commentary the last I feel like the last I remember, or that was 2005 maybe.
Dude, you should see now they have the owner, Dixie Carter, and some fucking jack-off called Potato Spuds or whatever his name is. And they're like the worst thing that's on TV since like Aces and Eights.
Ace and Aces was bad. Here's what I don't get, though. See, WWE gets a pass a little bit because they're PG and they're doing what they... Why?
I was there, dude, for
right.
And
where is it?
And every time
God damn it! I know I got it here.
Started.
Right.
Oh, here it is. This is
Because
great.
people said, what if he bought it? I said, well, no, he doesn't have to buy it. He just has to be on the show. He has to be hired.
We also
run it.
said, what if him and Jim Cornette joined up and started
Right.
and started running TNA?
Imagine Jim
Yeah,
Cornette.
well, those are two brilliant minds. I don't know if somebody would end up stabbing the other, but those are two brilliant minds.
That's why it would be great, I think.
So it has a nice double suicide finish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We might go down in flames.
Or they start rival promotions and start trying to outdo one another. That'd be another fun thing to watch.
That would be another fun thing.
Dude, so they have the double suicide finish. I love Conan, man. That's hilarious. That was funny.
He's hilarious.
I forgot what made me laugh so hard on that clip, and that's what it was. He was like, yeah, put them together. Have a double suicide
I like the
finish.
potato spud comment
Yeah, you shit on Spud.
on Rockstar.
What a flashback. That was a funny flashback. K-Dog's the balls.
Super chat. Super chat.
Hope all is well, Jake. Love you. Kisses.
Oh,
Yes.
big kisses. I'm so old school.
He's
Thank
not
you.
been amputated yet.
No, not yet.
Although the rumor is you actually hate me and don't want to be here.
Oh, look at that! Gotta love people. Who said that now?
They talk to they talk to the person you tell that to.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the person I tell that to.
Oh man, I'm not kidding, bro.
Really now?
It's funny.
So who's the person I tell that to?
I don't know. They wouldn't. They didn't divulge it.
Good to know. Got to do some digging.
Well,
Who?
you know.
Oh,
I don't know. Very very strange. I don't know. I just thought I'd throw it out there. That was funny.
yeah. I don't talk to him. He was
No.
trashing you on Twitter about a week ago, and I was like, "Why such hate? You just have all this animosity." I didn't even realize there was a problem until
Really?
I'm usually too far out of the loop. But
Oh my
yeah.
God, you're way out of the loop. That guy.
Jesus Christ!
Oh
People
yeah.
need to get a life sometimes.
Oh yeah, dude. Unbelievable.
Doesn't surprise me.
Keith Lee. Do we really even talk a lot
I
about?
don't even talk to that cunt, so I don't know why he would try and drag my name down.
Well, I don't
But
know.
now
It's no. It's not. It's all just. It's all just. It's just
Still,
to
fuck
fuck
that
around.
cunt.
Yeah,
That shit pisses me off.
Yeah,
I'm good
dude.
to enough people. I don't need anybody dragging my name through the mud.
it's weird, dude. I'll send you the clip later.
You can send it now.
Shout out to Dr. Earl for the clip. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it's very
Play
weird.
it now.
You want me to play it? No, I don't want to play it.
Yeah,
no,
play
because I
it.
don't want to give them the, you know.
I know, but you got me all riled up. So I might as
Really?
well.
You getting mad about? It's just it's like basically saying like, you know, Leah is cheating on me with somebody. It's like retarded.
And then I'm saying this?
No one said that. I'm just making that up. Like that's an example of how you just say random shit. You know what I mean? You just make stuff up.
No, I'm lost. I'm very lost.
Yeah, you are. It's pretty funny though. I don't know. It ain't me though.
Lost and pissed.
I'll play it. You'll hear it later. It'll be funny.
Don't need that shit again where people, oh, you're talking to this one's back. We're going to pull another Ken. You got to record everybody to prove your point.
Oh God. Jesus.
Play the fucking clips. Yeah, really. Play it.
DeMarco's lit now, dude. I just lit a fire under DeMarco. This is awesome. I don't even.
I get called Cronin cocksucker enough, you know?
No,
Not
it's,
dealing with that shit.
It's the other way. It's apparently.
No, I know. But that's what I'm saying. You just can't win.
Huh?
You just can't win.
Well, yeah. It's crazy. You just can't win. You just can't win. You just can't win.
I am trying to bite my tongue, so play the donations.
No, but your leg is okay, right? Like, is it not turning purple anymore?
No, it's still fucked. I had a fever most of the day today, so I have to go to the doctor's tomorrow probably to have it drained again, but
Yeah, that sucks.
yeah, life sucks.
I'm going to come drain it with my asshole. Man, imagine the stuff that will come out of that when we drain it. Can I go with? I need to go with you and have my ankle drained because I still have that bump from 2 years
Probably
ago.
a bone spur by now. Likely they'd have to shave that down.
Well, it's not. I don't think it's a. I don't know anything. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I don't think it's a bone spur because they X-rayed it when it happened. But what it could be like a tendon is fucked up because that doesn't get picked up, I guess. Or it's just some fluid.
Well,
in there?
I mean, you know, they could see bone spurs with an X-ray, but if it's a tendon issue or anything like that, you'd absolutely need a CAT scan or MRI.
Yeah. Well, I'll take a look at it. Here,
Fluids had to be seen in
What else we got?
ultrasound.
here's a dono.
A little bit of the bubbly.
Some bubbly.
Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff.
A little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Are you a bunch of bitch-ass losers? Triple H or Vince will never come out and tweet about ratings like Jericho and Khan. They are getting nervous, no doubt.
Wow. That's some hard shots. I mean, you're right. I mean, I guess you're right, but I'd rather Easy E86. What up, man? But I'd rather go the route that both are pretty petty. You know what I mean? But it is weird how like I don't know that AEW like freaked out like they peed their pants to get this information out to everybody. Strange. Too sweet.
What if Vince Russo came out next week as Rose manager? And he wears a TLM shirt. Glad you are here, JQ Sexy Beast. Too Sweet Joe and JCS.
My God, too sweet. Thanks for the $4. Vince Russo was Nyla Rose's manager. Bro, my client is one of the most fiercest competitors that you've ever seen in AEW, bro. I've been involved closely with talent in wrestling for over 30 years, bro. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, bro. Bro, Nyla Rose. You know, it's like, no way. Come on. Is that a joke? It's got to be a joke, right? Is he joke? You're joking, right? That's like a funny joke. I can't tell. I really can't tell. I'm assuming that was like a funny joke, which is funny.
It has to be. I don't see AEW wanting to work with him.
You never know, though, man.
Cody can't stand him. Calls him homophobic.
Yeah, he's a homophobe, according to Cody, and I am not a homophobe, bro. And what else did he say? Yeah, all kinds of things. And, shock factor's out the window. Remember, Cody Rhodes said shock factor is out the window. Right before penises carried a man who now has left the wrestling business out at All Out. Or whatever that was. Everyone's full of crap. You ever notice that? Everyone's just full of crap. Yeah, Vince Russo's old. I barely watched then. I didn't like the time. You know, shock factor's out. That's that. We don't do that. All AEW has been is shock factor to me. Or a lot of it has really been shock factor.
That's all they've gone for.
So it's just so hilarious because I think back to that shock factor out the window.
They contradict themselves entirely, constantly.
It's like I like
They'll
them.
say promo or in an interview that'll lean them one way, and then immediately on TV they'll do something the complete opposite. So
yeah,
we're not going to pay attention to what anybody else is doing. We're going to focus on just us and make us a better product. Now I'm going to go take a sledgehammer to a throne.
Yeah, very weird. I don't understand it. I've seen this. I wonder if it's like a wrestling mentality to do this, like say one thing, do the other. It's like a wrestling thing or something. I've seen it with other people in the community, around who do YouTube shows and stuff. They're like, I'm not gonna talk about stuff and do things, and then they do it like right after they say that. It's like the weirdest thing, and then they go on and on about it, and then they like, I'll never do this again. Then they do it again. They do it again. They do it again, and it's like that's what Cody reminds me of. It's like. Shock factor's out the window. We don't do that stuff. And Vince Russo's a homophobe. And then you do these type of things. I mean, unless he thinks that being a homophobe was part of wrestling back then. I don't remember a lot of homophobes. And I don't remember that being shock factor. Like being a homophobe was shock factor. I don't remember wrestlers calling people fags and stuff. Like I don't remember that at all. So where is the shock factor of homophobia? If anything, it was the other way. I saw a wrestler like gay couple guys hooking up. I mean, sometimes they were like too stereotypical. Like you couldn't just have a gay couple. Like they'd have to be like, hoo-hoo. But then you see Sunny Kiss and you're like, well, but that's just Sunny Kiss. That is Sunny Kiss. So I like Sunny Kiss. But what's homophobic about I don't remember them. I don't know, like the jokes? I don't know. I'm confused. So, like, I'm confused by everybody. I'm confused by Vince McMahon. I'm confused by the WWE. I'm confused by AEW. I'm confused by their narrative building that they're doing now and their weird, like, let's cling on to the little rating part that works for us to talk about. But when you do that, then it really kind of craps on when you do win. So why can't we have... It's like it would make it better. Good, you're losing. So what? You lost a couple weeks. You lose 4 weeks. Fuck it. You're going to come back. When you win 12 weeks, it's going to be that much sweeter because then you're killing it. So I don't think they need to go on Twitter, building narratives and being all like, I don't know, like super defensive about it. I don't think they need to be defensive. They should be happy with. They've been good.
Happy with it. But
they've been doing a good job.
What else we got? Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff.
Bubbly, get at me on Patreon, everybody.
A little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
The problem with AU is they don't have black wrestlers of significance. It's like they don't about the black fans. We like wrestling too. It feels like WWE and AU think we don't matter, which is a mistake.
Well, I don't understand the WWE criticism anymore. I'm fully out on it. I don't quite understand that. WWE has Keith Lee as the double champ. Kofi Kingston was the champ longer than many of the white champions have been. There's just so many African American and black, non-American wrestlers in the WWE and Japanese and stuff like that. There's never been more diversity than ever in the WWE right now. Like, I don't understand. I don't fully understand the WWE criticism right now. I did years ago, and I still kind of see how now I just see it as a level playing field. So when people are like, why isn't Big E pushed and why aren't the New Day this and that? Yeah, but why isn't so many people pushed like that? There's less African American wrestlers in general in the world, in America. In America, there's less African Americans, so there's less African American wrestlers. So there's less African American wrestlers in WWE. And in WWE never even pushes like 90% of the roster the right way at all. So you have even less of a chance of being successful as an African American because 90% of the roster is never pushed right anyway. So good luck to you because the white people, 90% of those people don't get pushed the right way. And now there's a smaller minority of African Americans. So you have even less of a chance of making it because just the numbers. But right now the WWE is doing the best it's ever done diversity-wise. AEW, I mean, they're trying, but Rio was a failure. She's Japanese. Nyla Rose is... that just doesn't work for me at all. I don't know what's been going on with Nyla Rose, but it's been
the
weird
Nightmare
with her.
Collective.
The Nightmare Collective didn't work.
The Dark Order hasn't worked.
I guess the African American wrestlers, if you want to make it about race, we're going to go there for some reason. Private Party and Scorpio Sky and Big Swole.
Pineapple Pete, right?
I mean, he could have been good.
Throw him into the mix.
He was looking good, man, until, he took that
That's
Judas.
what Marvin Watt said, make him AEW champ.
You know what would be funny is if a referee's back was turned and Jericho did the Judas effect into a guy's balls. Imagine the Judas effect on a crotch.
Yeah, that'd be nuts.
It'd be
Think about it. All the force in the world.
Just boom!
Spinning knee.
It'd be devastating. Right into the guy's balls. Just hit him right in the friggin' balls.
Make it like the old Dudley was up. You got to yell a catchphrase before you hit him in the balls.
That'd be hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. Let me play the donations again. I'm sorry. I stopped them to think about that dono.
What else we got? Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
AJ
Want some
Adams.
bubbly? Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Goldberg beating Hogan in Atlanta for the belt is the loudest pop ever, over 40,000 going nuts.
I just can't admit that if that's true. I don't know.
Yeah, to me, it always just sounded like the one where Mick Foley won with Stone Cold coming out. That Stone Cold pop was astronomical.
And then it was Shawn Michaels winning in the cage when he came back. That was a huge one, AJ Adams. And yeah, Hogan and Goldberg, I think, too. Yeah, that might be one of the biggest ones. I don't know. I guess for me, I didn't care as much. It was huge.
The Extreme Horror Show still has a better name than Great Balls of Fire.
Great Balls of Fire. The Extreme Horror Show. I don't know. I thought Great Balls of Fire ended up being... that ended up being pretty good, Gorilla Strong, right? Like it was all right.
It ended up being a decent show, but still a shitty name. just doesn't fit well with wrestling. Goodness gracious.
It only worked because it was like a troll or something. That's why it worked.
Vince took it serious, but
because we were all laughing at it.
Yeah, it was just we were laughing at it though, not with them, not like they were hoping for.
But they.
Oh, a little bit of the
we
bubbly.
Talked about it, I guess.
Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
It funny NXT beat you with a spoiled main event. The so-called elite even made fun of it, but who still couldn't beat that show? You look like the real dumbasses now. Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face.
Easy E, baby. What up? Thank you for the $3. Brandon Hicks says the show was garbage. That show was garbage.
I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm not... I mean, even if they said the Extreme Horror Show, I think that would be better.
It's time to get edgy and ask a non-wrestling question on one of Joe's wrestling shows. So Joe, what are the plans for monetize this tomorrow night?
I don't know. The same as always, to be weird. You never know what's going to happen on Monetize This. That's one thing I'll tell you. You never know.
Bring in the pain, bring in the thunder.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm dead serious. I have no idea. No clue. Everyone's invited. I know Drew's going to be here. I know I'm going to be here. Other than
it's
that,
going to be a party.
I don't know. Other than that, I'm not sure. The wheel. Someone's going to win. I don't know. We're going to have fun, maybe. If it's a really good show, we'll go till 5 a.m. Not so much. We'll go till 3 a.m. I don't know. Same thing as always. You never know. You never know. Monetize This. What it's going to do. 70% chance of a thumbs up. I think. You know. So tune in tomorrow night for Monetize This. Leah might.
I like them odds.
They're pretty good odds. You know, especially after last week's show, because last week's show was like 6 hours long and 2 hours were good. You know, I think the other hours were just, but there was 2 hours that were good. So I'm like AEW. I'm like, yeah, you know what? It wasn't overall good last week, but you know what? 2 hours were good.
I don't think any of it was bad. It just didn't live up to what you had for the 2 hours that were good. So, or were better.
Yeah. But usually after a bad show, something crazy happens. So, yeah, I remember we had a really bad show, and then the next week, like, Bullfrog got in a fight with Tommy. Like, and then it was just all
epic.
night. Yeah, everybody was flipping on everybody. And then, like, the week after we did something crazy, and you just get in these little grooves where it's crazy. But we have some crazy videos tomorrow night to make fun of on Monetize This. Like, there's some wacky shit going on in the world. So make sure you guys are subbed over to Corrupted Nation, because that's where we're going to be playing all the stuff. And yeah, there's just a ton of stuff to play. I mean, dude, the clips that I've seen, like El Gallo de Oro, the way the white man says it, he sent me so many clips. Like, there is just a arsenal of clips.
Yes,
Dr. Earl is leaking. We're even going to talk about the Jake DeMarco thing. I mean, there's so many. We have leaked audio and sent audio from people. Stir the pot up a little bit. It's going to be wild tomorrow night.
I still say you should play that now.
I might play it on Patreon. I mean, people pay for it. You know?
I've been fired once before. Let's make it twice. Come on, baby.
It's you having an orgasm. Well, no. There's nothing wrong with you. This has nothing to do with you at all, really. It's just a funny bullshit troll is all it is. It's a troll.
Wow, they're everywhere.
Yeah, but it's hilarious. Like, that's why I was bringing it up, because it's funny. It's just like if someone said, like,
Well, I gotta hear it to laugh.
Like I said,
That's-
Leah's cheating on Joe with I don't know, somebody. Like you know,
you got to leave the house to cheat on her first. I don't think you've done that.
I don't think we've left. Well, I did. I went to where did I go today? I went to the dentist the other day.
Yeah, that's the first and only time I think you've been out in how long?
4 months.
Yeah, crazy.
Well, I did go to the wine store the other day. I went to the wine store.
So you hooked up with the wine store clerk then?
Yeah,
That's
I
what it
banged
was.
well, if he's an Indian guy.
And spot on the money.
Dude, I'll tell you what. They put this plexiglass board up, kind of like the WWE. And I was like, man, I would love to check somebody through this fucking thing right now. I was thinking about it.
I'm telling you about it. They have it everywhere. Doctors' offices, nail salons. I don't know what real protection it provides, but because you're still transferring things under the window. So
yeah, it's weird.
Either signing papers or transferring money, whatever it may be. So
I guess we'll one of these times I'm going to hit somebody through the glass is all I'm saying.
Just do a Keith Lee where you just get right underneath them and chuck them through it. Just straight through it.
That's what I
and
want to
over.
do. Joe Cronin needs to be on TikTok. I already am. So everybody's already
supposedly they're getting shut down tomorrow. That's the big news on TikTok. Everyone keeps talking about on Twitter. So.
Maybe Tommy was right, man.
We'll see it.
They're
U.S.
killing.
wants them banned, because it's not. People are thinking, "Oh, what are they doing? They're watching my TikToks. Big deal." Well, no, they do a lot more than that. It literally takes everything off your phone, your calls, your texts, your locations, everything you do. Every site you visit, there's keystrokes, your passwords.
Allegedly, it
saves all this.
Did you see that it's allegedly looking for people that are talking crap about the Chinese government?
Enemies of the state, basically. Yeah.
But why would they hack us to find out who in China would be talking crap about them?
It's not just people it's people here that are Chinese as well that they're looking for. And,
so
outside of the CCP.
Allegedly, the FBI or whatever the people have enough info of look, this person said this. They found out because their family disappeared in China. And their family disappeared in China because if we go back, you can see that their phone was hacked. They had TikTok. So they're getting through that. This person said, oh, we left China because of this and that, and this is what's wrong. And Chinese government doesn't like that. So then they retaliate against the family in China. So that's a dangerous thing. So
exactly.
That's what they're... Technically, they're sort of...
I don't think it's that big of a deal because they'll have another Musical.ly app come right in its place, and it's not exactly something that's difficult.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do what they do to. We're gonna do what they do to us. We're gonna take their intellectual property and just fucking
just tweak it a little bit and make it their
use
own. And you can't tell me people wouldn't transfer over to that if they didn't have an alternative. Come on, it would be a hit overnight. It'd be just as highly downloaded and used, and it'd be a content race all over again for all the creators that are on TikTok. And I say that loosely.
We definitely need to start producing in America again. We need to get rid of needing shit from China, as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, think about how many apps are banned in China, so it's just the reverse at this point.
But that's a great point. Pocket Aces says, is Reddit going to get banned? Because that's China too. So
right now they're just going after mobile apps, but
yeah, if
God knows.
If you're not going to ban all these other things, then what the hell's the point?
I don't know if that is taking data.
I mean, but the government's spying on all of us, but I guess, I'd
rather it be our government than somebody else's.
Yeah, they're not coming in, I don't think, coming and killing our families because we said we thought the government sucks. I mean, everybody says that every day all over social media. So no one in the government's like, oh no.
You've got people burning flags and, they're not doing anything about it. So,
what'd be funny is if they did weird, cruel and unusual things to people who did stuff like that.
Yeah, really torture them.
Yeah, no, they kill their pet. You say that America sucks and this and that, and then you burn a flag and they catch you, so they go in your house, they kill your pet, and they leave a note that says, keep it up. I don't know, dude. What is that? Because they don't want to fully kill humans, but they're going to send a warning to you, so they kill, Wolfie.
Yeah, they'll pull the CM Punk, and they'll put your dog into the dryer. That's it.
They'll put your dog in the dryer, dude. Arbor! This is horrible to think of. Oh, my poor little pit bull. My black lab pit bull in the dryer. That'd be horrible.
What else we
I'd
got?
cry for days.
Oh,
like,
a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Want
That's
some
it.
bubbly?
God.
Look at this stuff. Oh,
domestic
a little
thing.
bit of the bubbly.
That's it. That's
Remember when Maria Kanellis told Becky to bring her bitch and she will bring hers, and Seth rolled his eyes?
Maria Kanellis told Becky to bring her bitch. Oh, God. I barely remember that. That sounds horrible, though. I don't really remember that. That sounds terrible. That sounds
I vaguely
like horrible.
remember that happening, but
Good God. Mike and Maria, like, I'm like friends with them, but Jesus. Their stuff on social media is rough. A lot of people getting blocked by them too.
yeah, I believe it.
Like, Mike's always been such a they're nice people, I think, but like they're super SJW. And a lot of people have been saying,
I
like,
can relate. I think they're just on the defensive too. So
maybe. A lot of people are just like, Joe, why'd they block me? Do you know them? Like, why'd they block me? And I'm like, I don't know, dude. But then when I read their post, it's like super SJW, like virtue signaling stuff.
yeah, they kind of stand one way and face the other.
It's
so.
kind of like it's sort of like a hippie thing. It's almost like you're a hippie, but like if someone doesn't agree with you, you think like you get violent with them, or like they deserve to be. It's weird. It's like you're saying you're nice hippie. It's like religious people used to be back in the day when the Christians would be like, what would Jesus do and stuff? And then they would be like, you're going to go to hell if you don't dish. Like, and they would be like, and you'd be like, Jesus, this is not what Jesus would do. That's what some of the SJWs are like right now. It's kind of like, they're like peace, love, and, be good to people and don't, trigger people. And then the next thing you know, they want people's jobs gone and their like kids taken away and their lives ruined. And like, if you don't agree with them, eventually they want to like punch you and stuff. And it's like, what the hell? Like, I thought you were supposed to be good. So yeah, I couldn't tell you, man, why you guys have been blocked, but a lot of people have been saying they've been getting blocked by people. I have no idea. Couldn't tell you. Not sure. Let me go back to the donos. I paused them again. My bad. There's not a lot of news,
Shit bomb.
to be honest, tonight.
I know this is a really messed up thing to say, but does anyone else have a sneaky suspicion that Vince McMahon will have a really unexpected death and we will hear about it out of nowhere? Wait a minute. Look at the news. Holy shit. Vince dead at age 74.
Huh. Psych ward patient, thanks for the $5 and becoming a $5 patron. Is that him saying that he's going to do it? I don't get it. I think he's saying...
I'm not sure.
I think he's saying he's going to do it. That's very strange. WWE star welcomes his first child. I don't care. Man, the news
What else we
sucks
got?
tonight.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
it. That's
Want
it.
some bubbly? Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Yes.
What AJ Adams talking about? Keith Lee, Apollo, New Day, Truth are all champions. Kofi had a long reign. Lashley and MVP is one of best things on Raw. Fuck you, you crybabies.
Yeah, I don't really get it either. Alexa's sweet ass. I don't. I mean, if you want to, it's like, why are we criticizing them more now when there's the most black champions ever? I'm kind of confused.
I am as well.
It's like when people were getting the maddest recently, saying it's the most racist it's ever been in this
What
country.
else we got?
What?
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
They elected a black
That's it.
president
Bubbly?
for 2
Look at this
years,
stuff.
2 terms.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
I am and always be a fan of technical wrestlers such as Flair the Hearts and others. But my favorite moment of all time, and it's sort of a big pop. And that Davey Boy beating Brett with that sunset flip. Amazing moment. Technical wrestling is a beautiful.
Yeah, it's really good when you can have it, because it shouldn't always be hit the finisher, that's it, I love toes, thanks for the $3. And like the Wembley Stadium Bret Hart Bulldog match was really good.
What else we got? Oh,
Hart,
a
Nolan
little
Hart.
bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Want
That's
some
it.
bubbly? Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
I donated other day about how older Raws watching are way better than Raw today, or even when they had fans. But it didn't play. When Stone Cold broke into Brian Pillman house and Pillman had begun. I was invested in a Raw over 20 years ago.
Yeah, but Alexa's sweet ass, I would say that's a top 10, top 20 Raw of all time. Stone Cold breaking into Pillman's house is hilarious. Plus, it's hilarious how it's like a mansion.
A classic.
It's a mansion outside, and then it's like a trailer park home inside. That's the funniest shit. Yeah, I don't know. That is a classic. That was one of the first episodes where they really went crazy. Like, it was wild, dude. I mean, it was just, it was a really good episode. But again, it was another one of those things where, like, you're waiting to see what's going to happen next. What's going to happen next? Oh, my God. So in between that, all these wrestling stories are happening, but at the same time, there's this major story that's going on. And
like you said, as far as now goes, current time, there's not much going on, even with the news, with the storylines. Nothing feels that important to draw you in as far as WWE goes. I mean, honestly, you're looking at the horror show and the swamp fight. It'll be another edited thing like the Boneyard match.
What else
and,
we got?
It'll be good, I'm sure.
A little bit of the bubbly.
Must see.
Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Ban everything from China except the little rice-eating whores. I need a skank to swallow my kids and let me ass fuck so I can break the chopstick pussy in half.
Well then.
Oh my God. Jesus. What the hell?
It's funny bringing up Pillman because
God.
his son joined AEW, recently. Yeah. He wrestled on Dark and lost. But I'm curious to see what they do with him on their main roster shows.
He's pretty good, man. I remember I've only called one of his matches, and it was...
Well, he's reminiscent of Kenny Omega with the movement and the
yeah, we were
gestures
laughing at that, the way he goes...
Yeah.
Like, and he starts running to the... And yeah, it was a little Kenny Omega-ish.
Yeah, very animated.
But he could probably have some good, like... I mean, I just see those guys in, like, ladder matches, like MJF, him... Joey Janela versus him. Cody Rhodes versus Brian Pillman Jr.
I bet you everybody on the roster would probably have a good match with him.
Darby Allin and hit
Darby Allin especially.
We could really see some interesting matchups of those guys.
So I mean, and that's what I'm saying. When you go to WWE and you think about potential matchups, and as of right now, for what they have available on the roster and not fantasy booking, because all of those in AEW is a possibility. I could see Pillman Jr. facing any one of those people, and it would work. You can go and get the TNT title shot, for the Open Challenge. That'd be a great spot for him to make a main roster debut, like they did with John Cena's Open Challenge. I don't know why they debut him in Dark. It was a random call there, but the swamp fight for the horror show isn't even for the title. It's Braun versus Bray, not the Fiend, just Braun and Bray, regular Bray. So I'm sure what they'll do there is they'll drag this on to SummerSlam. Bray lost as human Bray the first time. He might win this one through some comeuppance just because it's a non-title match. And then he'll take the title from Bray at SummerSlam. And they were hoping to have fans by then, but that's not happening. So now that's pushed till September for when they hope they can have fans in attendance again. And what else do we have to look forward to? Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. Well, they're already planning Randy Orton to take on Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam. That's pretty much the only real plan they have at this point in time. It was supposed to be the third match between Edge and Orton, but that's unable to happen at this point in time because Edge is obviously injured and he'll be out for likely the remainder of the year. So with that, having everything, held up and so much turmoil and whatnot, they're going ahead and having McIntyre face Orton. And the thought process they're having now is that does Orton take the title from Drew McIntyre, continue on this big heel run until Edge is the one to dethrone him and take the title? And then do a program at Mania where someone takes the belt from Edge. That's what's being discussed apparently at this point in time. It's intriguing in some ways. You could see Edge get the title and then somebody beats him at Mania, but I don't want a 5-month span of Randy Orton being the champion. That in itself just does nothing for me, so it's a bit of a waste. I wouldn't want to see Orton, be the top one. Yeah, you know, a lot of people are leaning towards. They said September, but I don't think that'll happen for them to have fans back. I think it'll be probably 2021, like January time, because you figure they're going to need to have, you know, vaccinations ready, and there's a lot that needs to happen before then. The rest of the horror show, you know, we have Asuka taking on Sasha Banks. That you would hope would be something to look forward to, but we'll see what more they can give us before then. And Bayley versus Nikki Cross. I don't feel like Nikki Cross has a chance there, so it comes down to Bayley. It seems like Sasha and Bayley are going to hold both belts and then lose the tag belts not long after. And then we have an eye for an eye match, which to me sounds so silly that I can't justify wanting to see it in my mind. I mean, you know, they said until someone's eye is removed, you know, that's when the match concludes. It's not pinfall. It's not submission. You have to pluck their eye out. You have to take their face off. And I'm not even like, oh, let's see, you know, curiosity killed the cat kind of thing. I have no interest in seeing, you know, with just such a ridiculous friggin' angle. God knows how they'll pull this off, but I'm not high on Rey Mysterio at this point anyways. I feel like he's kind of worn out his magic and luster from when he returned. And then we have Apollo Crews taking on MVP, not Lashley. So that's another interesting choice there, but doesn't sound like much of a must-see card. And then we get into, obviously, Fight for the Fallen this week. We finally get Jon Moxley to take on the new FTW champion Brian Cage. So it is just for the one title. It's just for the AEW World Championship. But then we also have Cody defending his title, the TNT Championship, against Sonny Kiss. Then we have the Revival, FTR, taking on the Lucha Brothers. That'll be good, I'm sure. Much better than the 8-man tag we had this past last night. And then we have the Elite. So Kenny Omega, Matt, and Nick Jackson taking on all of Jurassic Express. You know, there's even some word that we might see Kenny Omega be the one to turn heel going forward, bringing back a glimpse of the cleaner gimmick, you know, something more along the lines of that, a more serious badass. It'd be interesting to see a heel run Omega. You know, that everyone thinks that Paige is going to be the one to go ahead and turn on the tag team, but what if it is actually all along, oh, look at that, it was Kenny. That could be interesting if they handle that properly. We do know that Kayla Braxton has recovered from her second battle against coronavirus. Lana's mom it came down with COVID as well.
Oh.
So, you know, thoughts with her. And we also know that Renee Young's doing better as well, so that's good.
That's good to hear more people that kicked it, you know. Braxton, though, man, I still can't get over that she had it twice.
Yeah. A nurse that drops off her kid to Courtney's daycare had said that there's a few patients that she has personally right now that have had it multiple times, you know, 2 times a piece. So
can you get it a third time? That's what I'm wondering.
I haven't seen anybody or heard anybody yet get it 3 times, but God knows. If it mutates, I'm sure it's possible.
Man, I mean, this could really just this shit could become the new the new flu, where every year it's coming around. And
let's hope not.
And all we did was we upgraded from the flu. We went from like, hey, you know, you got a 0.09% chance of dying. Well, let's change that. Let's up it to 0.38, you know? So what do you do? Then you just kind of, that's it. Like, instead of, there's just a little bit more people die from the flu every year, except for it's corona. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, if you can get it twice, fuck it. We're fucked. You know, you're fucked. So, because there goes all the immunity stuff and whatever else. There's no immunity then. There's no
exactly.
anything. It's going to keep mutating.
Well, yeah, if it keeps mutating, exactly, you won't build up any type of antibodies for that specific case. The
only thing that I heard from the doctors is that apparently that for some reason, when it's mutating, like, or the mutations, it becomes less lethal. So the most lethal version of this was the China version. They are saying that's what I heard from 2 different doctors, but I don't know.
That's interesting to hear. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that.
I don't know either. Yeah, I don't know.
I know they said that the new version would be more transmissible because the spike protein that actually is the crown in the coronavirus.
Yeah.
That finds a way to easier bond with the makeup of human genetics. That's why, you know, once that protein's been strengthened and reinforced, that's what makes it more susceptible for the body to have it attached to.
Yeah, so more contagious, less lethal.
It seems to be that way.
I'd take that over anything. I'd take that over like very, I don't know. I guess I'd take
very
that
lethal,
over like,
but less
you're gonna
contagious.
die, yeah. So weird though, but yeah, she beat it twice, man. That's crazy.
What else we got?
That's wild.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff.
Give me some bubbly. I love toes.
A
you
little bit of the
bastard.
bubbly.
That's it.
I don't know if I believe any of it. Hey Joe, can you rant about something stench coming from Debe's panties? Oh my God, man. Good God, man. Debe's panties. That's disgusting. I love toes. I love toes. I love toes. Do you love toes? Because I love toes. Guys, is there anything else, Jake, that you had?
No, that's everything. Next week we'll be able to cover the final card for the horror show. Fight for the Fallen should be good Wednesday. We'll see what happens. Nothing really advertised that's stand out for SmackDown this week, but we'll see.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to wrap up in a minute here on Outta Nowhere episode 201. Not a big news day in wrestling. We are going to have a post show. We'll put it up on Patreon. I'm going to show Jake what I was talking about earlier. And I'm going to let the drama fly for Jake so he can see what I was talking about earlier. Are you excited for this?
Yeah, baby. Oh, I can't wait.
Are you excited? This like fucked you up, right? As soon as this whole thing threw your whole thing off.
I checked out about 40 minutes ago.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I can tell you kind of zombified, over nothing. It's really not a big deal.
It is to me. I've already had you and I's friendship fucked with enough and turned to shit. So
well, it's not really even like that. It's not even.
Well, that's what I took it as to begin with. That's how you were making it sound. So.
Oh well, I think you'll understand when I play you the clip, what it is, and who and what's going on. Saucy stuff.
Delicious.
I mean, you mentioned it had nothing to do with almost anything you were saying, so I was laughing, but it's. Oh my God! It's your friend Jake. It's your friend Kenny Omega.
Lars Sullivan is back and coming for the gold.
Lars Sullivan, I'm coming back for the gold. I'm Lars Sullivan, and I'm ready to beat somebody down. I sound kind of like Jesse Ventura, but I'm not really like Jesse Ventura at all. I'm Lars Sullivan. He really does kind of sound like him.
He does.
It's weirdly, it's very close. I gotta hear it again. Maybe we're wrong a little bit. Let's see. Oh no, that's the promo where they're talking. I want this promo with Kyler Braxton. Kind of funny.
My entire life, I've been described by one word. Do you know what that word is, Kayla?
Do you know what that word is, Kayla? I can't even. It's a little bit. It's very close. It's close. Not quite. But he's close.
Lion performs its primary function. People call it a lion. When I perform my primary function, people use that particular word.
Robert Hellerman.
God, I hated that promo. Oh, I hated that promo so much.
What a weird promo. It was too now I'm going to connect the dots for you. Everything he said was like a poem or it was all connecting too much. When a guy like that should just be I'm going to kill people. That's about it. This was dude, are you writing a haiku? What is this? It was a 4-minute promo.
Yeah, and it just kept going on and on.
And it's weird because, yeah, it was too smart. It was too smart to be, not too smart, but it was too calculated to be authentic, right? So, he's clearly not just making any of this up. Everything he's saying, he clearly, it was written down. And right now he's thinking of his lines, probably.
My primary function is to hurt, maim, dissect, vivisect, and dehumanize people.
Because when he was saying that, he like wasn't in character enough. And right as he was about to finish and he said dehumanizing, he changed his tone from like concentrating looking to like, like, and he like came out of it. And it was because it's like he couldn't be himself because it was all fucked up. It's like when I'm messing around with music, I don't know why, but when I pull up a rap beat and I just start like freestyling to it, the flow comes off really good, but maybe what I say isn't good because it's not the best because I'm making it up on the spot. But then if I sit there and I try to write to the song, it never matches the beat. And then I have to like fuck with it a whole bunch. And you can tell that like,
you have to feel the music when you're making it.
Yeah, like, and then it's like I'd rather just, and then even if I say something, like I freestyle something that's good, then it's harder for me to recreate it when I'm reading the words. So it's like I don't know why I'm bringing that up, but that's what this reminds me of. Like if he was able to just stand in the ring and be like, talk about how you're gonna maim and hurt and kill people, and like you're here to destroy the WWE roster, and then just be crazy and scary, and you got 1 minute and 50 seconds, like, and here's like that's all you had to say to him. And he should have been able to go out there and be like, I'm going to maim, plunder, pillage, and eat the carcasses of every WWE superstar in the locker room, Kayla. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it on national TV, in front of children, in front of women, in front of men. Men will feel minuscule when they see me devour the SmackDown roster. That's what he should have said. That's it. Instead of this, do you know about a poem written 50 years ago by a guy named blah, blah, blah? It was about a lion and blah, blah. Like, what the fuck are you saying, dude? It's fucking 2020.
Yeah, no doubt. It just went on and on.
Weird. And the weird thing is, isn't this kind of what like Luke Harper sort of wanted to be?
Kind of. In somewhat of a way.
Because did he use the word proverb? Like, I mean, what the fuck is Lars Sullivan saying proverb for? I think he says proverb.
That I am no man. For my entire life, I've been described by one word. Do you know what that word is, Kayla?
Freak.
Good God.
When a lion performs its primary function, people call it a lion.
I get the point, too. Like, it's like, I get it. But just go out there and say what I said. Shut the fuck up. Like, what are they doing? They're like overwriting these people. Like, insane. That's the most overwritten bullshit. Ugh. I can't deal with it, man. I can't deal with it. Anyway. We're going to go record the post show of Outta Nowhere, which will be a really juicy one tonight on Patreon. So, guys, everybody, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Feel free to hit that like button. See you tomorrow night for Monetize This. And we'll see you on the post show for Outta Nowhere. It's going to take a little while to get it uploaded. Probably be uploaded in the next hour. Probably in about less than an hour, maybe. Less than an hour, probably. It will be uploaded on patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Look for it there. We're going to get Jake to just flip out on everybody. He might fucking kill somebody tonight. It'll be crazy.
Never know.
And JB just texted me.
Fuck him too.
Oh, what did he do? What the hell?
I'm just joking.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm like, Jesus. What the fuck? Well, I mean, he has done things, but you know.
Nah,
Listen, I forgive
Throw him
him.
into the line.
I forgive him for sending me that unsolicited dick pic a few years ago. Okay, I won't bring a Me Too thing on him. Imagine that though.
It's unsolicited toilet pics. That's what it is.
I send an unsolicited ass photo to everybody because I got bit by a mosquito. I sent it to everybody on my shows. Like everybody got it. Somewhere there's a photo of my asshole, or not my asshole, but my ass, because I got bit on the ass by a mosquito. And it was so goddamn huge. Like, I was like, what the fuck? Is this really on my ass right now? It's a mosquito bite. And I sent it to everybody to be like, look at how fucked up this is. And then Leah was like, what are you doing sending your ass pic to everybody? And I'm like, it's fucking hilarious. By the way, Bullfrog the other day on his stream, I was watching his stream. And I know he's banned on Monetize This, Bullfrog is. He picked his nose.
I saw the highlights of that on Twitter. Lovely. Just him sitting there picking it.
He's on Twitter and he picks his nose. Now he can't do these videos anymore because apparently his Twitter got banned. So I don't know what
his Twitter. He just messaged me on Twitter with 3 more accounts. So I don't think that's stopping him.
Yeah, he's
retarded as he is. He can make 100 accounts.
Yeah, every time I block him, he adds another one.
Literally, him or the other one. I don't know who's worse. All the fake accounts. Jesus.
Oh God, it's crazy. All right, well, we'll see you for the spice on Patreon in the next in a little while. You'll get it uploaded an audio version on Patreon. Good night. Thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow night. If you don't listen to Outta Nowhere post show tonight, you're gonna miss out. You're gonna miss out. Woo! How many chromosomes you got?
Yeah. Well, the controller's not even out yet to even see, so.
We just showed it to you. It's right there.
No.